Welcome back to Inside Texas with the Girl Herd. We are going to dive into our recap of the game and also stick in for a little bit later. We have Coach Davis for one of the best high school football teams in the nation in Georgia from Buford joining us. But first, make sure that you join the number one source for Longhorn fans, insider notes, recruiting scoops, and in-depth analysis all in one place. Join today for just $1 for your first week and receive a complimentary year to The Athletic. Don't miss out. Make sure y'all hit that subscribe button. Okay. So another week, another interesting performance by our offense. We'll say that. So let's hop into it. What are your initial thoughts of the game? And then we can dive a little deeper.
My initial thoughts are that I need the Texans to win their game this week because I need to feel good about something. Like, we won, and I hate winning and, like, not feeling great. But, like, that's just the God's honest truth. We won, and I feel a little ill, not going to lie.
Why does Sark keep starting off with, so we won? Let's start off with the good. Every time.
Yeah, I want to remind you that we did get the dub, but it is hard, like, for us to get a dub and us to still have all the concerns that we've had from week one to now, and even like them digressing, right? Like, we're not seeing the steps forward that we necessarily need to see, like, brings a lot of concern to the fan base, right? Like, we heard the first boos of the season in the stadium, which are also really hard. We want to, support our team as much as possible, but we do have to wonder, right? Like, what is going to be the fix for this offense?
Yeah. I mean, I love that you use the word digress, because I think we took, like, the Ohio State game, right? And it was a benchmark, 14-7. And we were like, okay, well, annoyed about the loss, but also they were right up there, top 3 team as well. And it's like, okay, cool, let's go clean it up and let's rock and roll. And that just hasn't happened. I do appreciate that Sark was like, hey, yes, we got booed, but maybe now we can go and be us and, like, inflict pain on the other team. And, like, that's what I want to see this weekend with Sam Houston. It's our last game before SEC play kicks off, and I want us to play football. Like, stop worrying about all this stuff. Everybody keeps, if I hear the word pressing one more time, like, I don't even really know what that means, but everyone's like, they're pressing. And it's like, cool, like, stop doing that and freaking go win downs every single time. And honestly, I think the booing was good, because get pissed off about something. If somebody was doing that to me and I'm QB1, I'm about to be like, all right, fine. That's how you feel. I'm about to, like, do something.
Yeah, I mean, we props to defense, right? Like, they've stayed steady. They're the only reasons we've stayed in some of these games, I'll say. We have to give a shout out special teams. We talked last week. We weren't doing good on returning. At least we got that. I'll start with those positives there, right? Like, unfortunately, going on the offense, it's weird. Like, okay, it felt like maybe we were hitting the receivers. Okay, maybe we're not. Now we weren't hitting the running game. Now we're hitting the running game. Now we have injuries too, and that's not helping. But really, it's never been a well-oiled machine with this offense. And you're like, what is happening? What is going on? And I keep wanting to be like, everyone keeps asking me, they're like, what's wrong with your boy, man? What's wrong with Arch? Where was he from last year? And we were like, exactly. That's what we keep asking. Where's the guy from last year that was so excited to come in with the swagger, that just hopped in, had nothing writing on it, and just went? And that's why you just want to believe that it has to be a mental game.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
I'm like, why are you chuckling, Devin?
Yeah. Had, like, a core memory unlock, and it's like, whenever me and my sister did Pee-wee cheerleading when I was in, like, 3rd grade, she, like, was in 1st grade. She wasn't even supposed to be on the team, but, like, we cut our uniform and she's on the team. And I had a spirit stick. I was the captain and I had to do the cheers. And she's like, call this cheer, call that cheer. And my mom was like, go away, Megan. So we let Megan be the captain. And then guess what? She was like, Devin, what do we call? And I feel like that's Arch right now. Like, it's, it's a little bit different when you're not the man, when you're the man coming in for the man and you're loose. And we talked about it over the weekend. I'm like,
yep,
just pretend that that's you again. And, like, just get that mental unlock going. I know he will. I don't really have a lot of concerns there, but I want it for him, because I think this whole situation is surprising him. I don't think he thought he would find himself where he finds himself right now. So,
Yeah, I agree. And we talked about this over the weekend too, and how we feel about re-energizing that competitive nature in him. And does he need to be sat for a little while? What needs to happen to make that switch go back off in his brain so that we are seeing last year's Arch and the production that he had and the confidence he had? And Michelle, you mentioned the swag that he had. Like, what is it going to take? And I wonder too, right? Like, is Sark so much of a, like, on the quarterback, like, I'm for the quarterback, I'm team quarterback? Will he do it? Will he have, not the balls, but like, will he make that decision? It's a really hard decision, but it might be what he needs.
Yeah, I mean, he straight up said he was not going to do that. So he was like, we are putting all of the confidence. And I think that's, me and Connor were talking before we were filming. I think that's sort of his thing. Like, he likes to uplift, and I don't think that that's the bad. I think that's a good stance to have. But Angie, to your point, man, I just think there does need to be more time with this whole group. I mean, we've got a lot of new people on offense, right? And Sark keeps on harping on, he knew that there would be some growing pains, and he's going to know that more than any of us. And I think the biggest thing that I keep saying week after week is it's going to be a confidence builder for Arch to also learn to call his own number, because right now he's probably just running through whatever the offense is being given to him, but he's going to develop a feel out there that he probably doesn't have right now.
Yeah, I mean, I think we all know that he has it, and this team has it, and it's just about all these like pieces that are coming together for the first time this year, and them meshing well. And we keep being like, okay, we have another week, like it's a night game at DKR this week. That's going to be exciting in and of itself. Hopefully a little refreshing. We're not going to be back home till November. We want to see it, man.
Yeah. I have a question. Like, do we think that the expectations were off? I mean, we are coming off of 2 straight years, top 4 finish, and we just seemingly were reloading on the talent coming out of spring. It was very positive. Obviously, our first preseason number 1. But I mean, everybody from Paul Feinbaum to ESPN has come off of it, even with like putting us in Cheez-It Bowl potentially, which is a whole different convo. But like, based on where we were with the expectations before season and where we are now, do you think that we got it wrong, or like what's happening?
I honestly, it seems like it, right? Because the way that our offense is showing up, even from the old line, like, it just doesn't seem like any of the offense is comfortable in the offensive scheme that is being run. I don't know what it is, like polar opposites from both sides of the ball. So there clearly needs to be something happen. But then again, you're like, but what were they seeing all of this time in practice, in camp, in all of these things? And then we come and the flashing game lights are on and it's a complete 180. So I think the Arch is probably good in like some of the expectations, but we also have to remember the expectations were up here. So the only way he was going to go is down. And that's also really hard to start off coming that way too, of like, okay, well, the only thing I can do really is fail, right? Because for me to meet these expectations, it has to be perfect. And honestly, it's unrealistic. But I mean, there's a lot that needs to happen for us on the offensive side of the ball. Because then too, right, we can't just rely on defense to carry us for forever. Because every time, if we just keep not getting our third downs, not making first down, like, defense is going to get tired, and that well-oiled machine is going to get drained.
Yeah, I mean, I think, our defense is natty worthy, right? So I think we knew that coming into this season. And I think most on the offense side, it was like, we have Arch and the faith we had, and it was like plug and play. And maybe we didn't really like take that step. I mean, we knew we had a lot of new players, but I'll say like one of our newest players, Parker, look how he's balled out. So, we have all of these weapons that, I mean, it should happen, and you want it to happen. We've said this before for Texas, like, we have all of this talent, but I think, I mean, it's been said, and I think it's just a matter of the experience is what we're seeing now.
Yeah, somebody said, I think it was Kyle, like on Twitter, was just like, maybe we're hiding all of our stuff for SEC play. I said, yes, that's what I'm telling myself to feel better at night right now.
I mean, I would love that. Like, come out and just shock us, because even the pressure, we have so many other players on offense that predicted these amazing seasons for themselves and set all these high expectations and goals for themselves. And that also has to be weighing on Arch, right? Because he wants them to shine as much as he wants to shine.
I still believe they can do it. I mean, we got some work to do, but I still believe this team can be really good. I'm not saying that I'm not saying that we're gonna like go and do it all, but like we have a lot of good stuff that can happen here. It's gotta fit.
No panic button yet.
No panic button yet.
We need to see how you perform in the trenches. Like, the time is now. Activate the dog, activate whatever you need to activate in your little hearts and souls. We need to see it. Well, any other thoughts that we have before we come in next week? We're facing Sam Houston State. They are known for, I think, a pretty heavy pass offense. So that makes me, again, excited for our defense, right? That's really where they shine. But anything you guys want to highlight looking forward to next week?
Everything we've said. Let's see the offense click. Let's run up points. Let's have a really good campaign. Let's dead these negative narratives on Arch, because that's what we need to do going into October and SEC play. That's what I want to see.
Mish?
Yeah. I mean, there's not much more to say. We keep saying it, like, defense, keep doing your thing. We're really going to hope that offense is going to help you on the other side of the ball this week.
All right. Well, we do have an amazing second part of the show coming up, so don't go anywhere. But first, let's hear a word from our sponsor, Luxe Kitchen and Bath.
Are you ready to love your kitchen and bathroom again? Luxe Kitchen and Bath will bring that to life. Luxe has been offering high-end kitchen and bathroom remodels for 3 generations throughout the greater Austin area. With 5-star review after 5-star review on Google and Facebook and an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau, you can put your faith in Luxe Kitchen and Bath's award-winning designers and skilled craftspeople to bring your dream vision to life. But that's not all. Luxe's all-star team also provides full home remodels, large additions, and even commercial build-outs as well. So call Luxe Kitchen and Bath at 833-358-LUXE today, or visit luxekitchenbath.com to discover where quality meets luxury and begin the process of transforming your home. Get your free quote today by calling 833-358-LUXE. That's LUXE, or by visiting luxekitchenbath.com. Contact info is in the description.
Welcome back. We are really excited to have Coach Davis from Buford join us today. Welcome, Coach.
Thank you all so much. Thank you.
Yeah, we really appreciate. So he and I got to meet on a flight back from Columbus and thought how perfect of an idea to have him come join us this week. We're going to talk a little bit about NIL, all the things with high school. So first question that we have for you, I think that you mentioned to me you have 57 players that are currently in collegiate football right now. So what do you think sets your program apart for athletes going to the next level?
Well, I, personally, just being at Buford High School, it always starts with our academic process that we have at Buford High School. So I think that sets us apart from anyone across the country. As far as our athletic side of it, Buford's been a powerhouse. I've been there 19 years, and we've been strong for a very, very long time. And, I tell people, football in the South is very strong, and it will always be strong. And I guess you guys know, being in Texas as well. So I think what sets us apart is our work ethic, how we do it, our demanding of our players, a great community, great student athletes, kids buy into what you believe in and buy into your system as well. So I think that sets us apart from a lot of different programs across the country. The kids have to believe in who you are, what your program stands for, and buy into your culture. That is the number one thing that we kind of push to our athletes and the guys that want to attend Buford High School.
Love that. And can you paint a picture for all of the non-Texan folks? Like, give us, what is Buford? Like, is it the school everyone tries to go to? Like, what are your rivals? Do you get the pick of the litter of the kids coming in? Is it competitive? And I say that versus Texas, because in Houston, which is where I'm located, is highly competitive even at the district level. So kind of give us a background on the level of competition.
Well, level of competition in the state of Georgia is massively large. We play a massive schedule. We try to play all the heavy hitters. We do have a lot of benefits of being at Buford High School because of who we are. We are a city school, but we're a public city school. It's ran like a private setting, but we're a public city school. And a lot of people like to attend Buford. They call us Buford University, because we have so many different advantages. We have a new stadium, we have arenas, we have baseball complexes. We have a lot of different things that kind of make our program be on a national level. And I think in 2007 when I came to Buford, we were a 2A school, and the goal was to get to 6A, which we are. We've done very well there. And so I think that's what kind of sets us apart. It's kind of our facility sets us apart, our academic sets us apart, playing a massive, a big time schedule sets us apart year in and year out, and producing, high end dudes at Buford High School sets us apart from a lot of high schools in the South.
I love that. You talked a little bit about the culture of your program. So how do you help these kids figure out what is the fit for them when they go to this next level?
Well, I always tell student athletes, I always tell them, you have to go to your fit, not your parents' fit. Your parents not going to play this game. The fit has to be for you, and kids need to understand that you have to play and your parents don't. So let's get it clearly understood. That's the number one rule. The next fit, I try to base on relationships with coaches that I have a good relationship with. I don't push any players to Texas, to any other schools, to Georgia, because I don't want to be the blame for a kid not being successful. And, Coach Davis, hey, push this kid to Texas or push this kid to Georgia, and it didn't pan out. I stay out of that realm of it. I make sure I stay clean out of that. But pushing kids to the right place, the right fit, based on my relationship with the school, with the coaches. And I tell people, when I tell coaches, you want me to support your school, well, I must come visit Texas. I must come visit the University of Houston in order for me to talk about the University of Houston to my student athletes. That is how I kind of find a fit. And then my next fit, I kind of go into coaches. How long has he been there? Does he move a lot? I'm real big on coaches moving a lot, and say, I don't know about that. Just kind of say, he's going to be out of here in about a year. He has a stable of moving every year, every 2 years. So that's big on our student athletes. We try to get our student athletes to stay where they are and not hit the transfer portal. So that's kind of what we preach at Buford High School.
I love that intentionality. You mentioned your tenure too, and I think that probably has a lot to do with just the tradition and the culture that you all have been able to install. And
Yes,
I think when you contrast that against NIL, and these kids are getting, some instant gratification now, which is positive as well in the form of finances, but I'm glad that you and your staff can really instill in them, hey, it takes time to get to where you're getting to in life. And I love just the intentionality that you all have put in terms of making sure the kids are getting fit with the right program. That's so key.
It's no doubt. I tell people, we've kind of hit double digits in the recruiting cycle probably for the last 15 years, I guess. I think we're sitting on probably roughly 300 kids that have gone to school since 2007, since I've only been at 2 high schools. I was in the inner city for a while, and then I came to the powerhouse of Buford. I was at a powerhouse, and so we put. I want to say that was around 300 student athletes just at Buford alone. So we're able to, you say the stability of me being there, our head coach being there, our staff being together for a long time. I think that matters, and I think that builds relationship with college coaches a lot. I think that still means a lot, even with the NIL world. Even though some NIL schools are trying to knock the recruiting coaches kind of back a little bit, but we kind of have a policy. Hey, everything goes through Coach Davis, because I know how this thing is going. This thing is all business, and our kids need to understand this is business, and it ain't about nothing else.
Mm-hmm.
You talked about, wanting to visit schools and make sure that you go and all these different schools that happen. And what do you see in a difference in Georgia and, of course, Texas coming into SEC? Is there any schools that stand out to you that are better at this, or any ones that you want to talk about?
Well, it is. I kind of I've gone to USC. I've gone to many of them, and I'll be honest to you. I do think, and I'm not saying this, I'm speaking to you, I think Texas stands out a lot. And I tell you, when you guys had Coach Choice there as your position coach, he was from Georgia, as a matter of fact, and he would come in the state of Georgia with his Texas, counterparts, and them guys would do a phenomenal job inside the state of Georgia. So I guess when I look at who's really good at what they do, I would say Texas. I would say Ohio State. I would say Clemson's really good at what they do, and the University of Georgia is excellent at what they do as well. Those are some off the top of my head Auburn does a good job, but I would say probably my best experience that I've had is probably Ohio State and UGA would be my best experience. Texas was very good to me as well as I visited Texas in 2018. When we had an All-American tailback at Buford High School who had committed to Texas.
We love that. I know you mentioned all of these different schools too. What do you see as the landscape for NIL and how it's going to shape the trajectory of college football, right? Because you have Texas, we are heavy in NIL. We have a lot of alumni that donate and all of these sponsors, and we also usually, right, are pretty good on the field as well. So how do you see NIL continuing to shape when you have powerhouses on both sides?
My personal opinion, I do think like Texas, for instance, will be Texas because of the financial, money that Texas does have. It allows them to be the kingdom of college football. The landscape of the NIL, I do think it will settle out, but I think the heavy hitters, the top 8, top 10 teams in the country who they were before the NIL, the Georgias, the Alabamas, the Texas of the world, USC. I think it'll all settle back out in 2 to 3 years, and you'll start seeing the heavy hitters be what they're supposed to be. And people talk about parity, and this and that, a little bit maybe, but when you look at schools like South Florida, they probably shouldn't beat Florida, but they did, and so it tells me they have issues there. And I think the money's going to play a mass amount. USF cannot match University of Florida's money, so they shouldn't be losing to them. But I do think the top 10 teams, major programs, will still run college football. I don't see that changing. The playoff did allow other smaller teams to get in, to have some success, through playoffs. But I think that when it's all said and done, it'll be Texas A&M, Ohio State, Georgia, all the heavy hitters, LSU will still be who they are. So I think the landscape as far as NIL, I don't think it'll be any different than it was 10 years ago. The big dogs will still control it, and that's the way it will be. And that is why they're trying to have 2 conferences,
The A and the B squad, That's
it. It ain't about nothing else. Everybody else just holding on, which is okay. There's nothing wrong with it. Ball is ball, if you can play. But that's kind of my thinking. The heavy hitters are the heavy hitters, and I don't think that will ever change. And I think if it does change at the major schools, I think you'll see a lot of coaching changes if it does.
Yeah.
Because it shouldn't change. You got the money, you got the people, you got the athletes. Now you got to make sure you keep them hungry for what they got to do once you pay these guys this type of finances as they go through.
Yeah. I mean, I think everything that you're saying is sort of coming true at UCLA right now, right? They did hire their coach, and people were talking about, I don't know much on the situation, but they were actually citing NIL and financial issues. So whatever's going on with them, they're not able to put pieces together in the new environment, and so it's not panning out.
And it's not going to pan out if you don't have the right people operating and running your front office or your office, from your CEO to your general manager to your head coach. It's not going to pan out. You still got to get players that fit your culture, fit your system, and how do you get them to fit to be at UCLA or fit at Texas? Because if he don't fit, he don't fit. And that's what people got to understand. So you talk about the fit of an athlete, the fit of a player. You got to go to the right program. It's very important that you don't go thinking, I went to Texas for the money, but I'm in the portal in a year from now. You didn't go to Texas for the right reason. You still got to go play this game at Texas, and you got to get paid at Texas, but stay at Texas. Don't try to run to the next, $50,000. Because I tell our kids all the time, you can chase $50,000 more, but $50,000 is not a lot of money. It's $5,000 more dollars total. That's $500 in your check. People don't understand that. $10,000 more dollars in your check. People don't understand. You chase $10,000 for $1,000. You chase $50,000. For $500. It doesn't make sense to me. So people got to understand $5,000, $10,000. Don't chase 50 racks. 50 racks is only $500. I think it is. That's all it is. $5,000 in the check. That's all it is. So it's not a big deal to chase that kind of money. People got to know numbers.
Yeah, I love that you guys preach to not hop into the transfer portal at every second that they get. Have you guys seen issues with false NIL offers from schools?
No, not at Buford High School. You probably won't sit at the major schools, the Mater Dei, the Buford, the greatest high schools in the world. That's in Georgia, the top high schools in DeSoto in Texas. You probably won't see them playing with the NIL contracts at those schools because you won't be probably welcome back, to those schools. So those contracts will probably hit where they are, And and I've seen them kind of change as you make an agreement to whatever. I don't see the money change, but I see what we agreed on, the stipulation of me having a car, me getting an apartment, me getting an apartment for my mom. I see that change, and if you're not careful and you don't have the right people in your corner, they will change it, and it's all about who's in your corner, and they got to know what they're talking about. That's the most important thing. People have to know what they're speaking about. I think that's the biggest. I think that's the biggest difference. And if you got people that understand the NIL and the collective agreement, you're going to be fine. If you don't, you're going to get hammered and you're going to get real. So I do see that with schools that come in and find out who's the heavy hitter, who's the kid listening to. And I see our parents and even our parents, not that they're uneducated on it, they're uneducated on the NIL world. And I see schools take advantage of that life. And then Coach Davis have to get in and say, this is not right. Let's make it make sense. So I do a lot of that. And then we can kind of line it back up the right way.
These guys are so lucky to have you, Coach
Davis. So lucky to have you in their corner, that's for sure. But okay, as our way out, we got to tie it in a little bit more to Texas football too. So our last thing here, you are also a running back coach. So any insights that you have for us on Texas running backs in our running game this year?
Well, we got to get up front right first at Texas. I think that's the number one thing. I love Texas. I love Texas football. You guys are recruiting one of my guys right now. As a matter of fact, the Ty Green kid. You guys just he met one of your boosters today at the University of Texas and one of your coaches there. So I'm excited about that. I just think we got to get up front and right at Texas first. But I support Texas football. My wife wears the Texas shirt all the time, and she does. And so I keep my Texas gear. I do. I love Texas football. I love your head coach. Of course, he was at Alabama, so we had a connection there. And then Coach Choice is there. So I think you guys recruiting the state of Georgia will be big. Of course, you got to take care of the state of Texas first. But I think recruiting the state of Georgia has been big for our state and your state alone. You can't get all the guys out of Georgia, but playing running back at Texas is unbelievable.
We love that. Well, I mean, hopefully we get to see you down here with some recruits a little bit more often, but we're so thankful to have you join us for a little bit today and give us all of your insights.
Yes, and thank y'all so much. It means a lot to be sitting here with y'all. You guys are amazing, and I appreciate your conversation on the plane. And anytime y'all want to reach out to me about any of this, just feel free. I'm always open, and to be able to chat about this.
Thank you so much. Nice meeting you.
Okay, pleasure meeting you guys as well. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right.